Hey, what's up everyone? So today I'm going to show you how to make a Chow Fun recipe that you might not really know about, but this Chow Mai Fun recipe is something that you definitely gotta try out because it's got a sweet and sour sauce. And this dish in Chinese is called Ha Mun Chow Mai Fun. But in English, I don't know. I can't help you out. I just know this is some really good stuff and you gotta try it out. So Ha Mun Chow Mai Fun, what is it? Well, it's basically a rice noodle stir fry, and this is a rice noodle here. So this is Mai Fun. But I gotta warn you, okay? Whenever you make a Mai Fun dish like this, right? Dried rice vermicelli, 200 grams of noodles is actually a lot of noodles because these noodles are really bunched up. And then when you cook them up with all the other ingredients, this is gonna be a lot. This portion, this recipe here is gonna serve at least 3 to 4 people, but you can always save what you can finish. I think it should last about like maybe 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator, kept in Tupperware. And to prepare this, I'm going to soak this dried rice vermicelli in hot boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes. Make sure that you completely submerge these dried rice noodles and then put a lid on top and cover it for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then immediately strain it and then cover it to keep it from drying out. However, if you've got yourself a salad spinner, this will come in much more handier because when your dry noodle hits the wok, you are going to end up with a much tastier dish. Okay, other ingredients. I got myself here some Chinese style Char Siu, okay? This is a very important ingredient because it helps flavor your Ha Mun Chow Mai Fun. Make sure you get a cut of Chinese Char Siu that is half fat, half lean. In Cantonese, we say bun fei bun sao, because when the fat cooks up, it's gonna release into your Mai Fun, so that's some good stuff, right? And right here, I've got 100 grams of shrimp. That's about like 10 pieces. All I did was just take off the shell and devein them. And then the vegetable, I've got here 150 grams of onions, just sliced up like that. And this is about 150 grams of bell peppers, sliced up like that. It kind of looks like a lot, but when it cooks down, it's gonna really shrink. And then right here, I've got some spring onions. These go in at the end. If you got scallions, use scallions. I believe those are better for this dish. Just set these aside because these go in at the end. Okay, so I already mentioned that Ha Mun Chow Mai Fun is a sweet and sour type dish. And whenever there's a Chinese style sweet and sour type dish, there's always some kind of ketchup involved mixed with vinegar, white vinegar. It's kind of the same sauce that you find in a sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour shrimp, sweet and sour chicken, sweet and sour whatever. That's why sometimes Chinese American cooking is a little bit easier to back engineer because whenever you see a red sauce, it's 99.9% ketchup. So in this ketchup mix, it's about 3 1/4 cup of ketchup plus 1/4 cup of white vinegar and half a teaspoon of salt. And then we have here 1.5 cups of bean sprouts. I forgot if I mentioned this or not, but yeah, 1.5 cups of bean sprouts. I forgot. And finally, 2 large eggs. You can add 1 egg if you want, but I'm in a 2-egg mood today. So that's the great thing about cooking at home, right? I mean, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Okay, just lightly beat it. And that's basically all the prep work, so let's start cooking. I'm gonna put my heat on a medium high heat. When my wok starts to smoke, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of oil. Spread the oil around. And drop in the eggs. Give it about 5 seconds to set and then start scrambling it. Okay, that's it. Just gonna set this aside first. And I'm just gonna use the same wok, all right? Because look, my wok is still pretty much clean. There's nothing stuck to it. Okay, set my pan on a medium-high heat. And when my wok smokes, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of oil. Yes, 3 tablespoons. This is Chinese cooking, all right? There's a lot of oil, especially noodle stir fries. Spread the oil around. Drop in the onions and the peppers. I'm gonna cook these until the vegetables start to shrink and the onions start turning clear. And then we drop in the rice noodles. So one of the biggest complaints that I get from people making a rice vermicelli dish like this, a mai fan, is that the noodles, they're too mushy. And they basically disintegrate when you start stir frying it in their pan or their wok. They are only easy to break apart when the noodles are overcooked. And if you get in there with a spatula and start like just mixing it around, then you have a bigger chance of breaking it up. So there's 2 things that I recommend that you use when you're making chow mai fan, and that is chopsticks or some tongs. All right, get in there with the sauce. And give it a toss. There, my noodles have retained their long strands. Drop in the shrimp. The char siu, eggs, and the sprouts. And then we just mix it up. The roast pork is cooked already. That's why we don't need to do so much cooking. We're just gonna reheat it. And then for the final 30 seconds of cooking, I'm gonna drop in my spring onions. So this is one of my favorite dishes to order at a Chinese dim sum restaurant in New York City. So most of my favorite recipes are based off of New York City Chinatown restaurants. Smells awesome. The scent of that vinegar just hits you in the back of that tongue. Really awesome. Try this recipe at home, but as always, I do make deliveries. I take Bitcoins and Camels as payment.